Hey guys, welcome to How to Fight podcast. I think this is like episode 7 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? It's number 7 now.
It's number 7 now.
Yeah. Today we've got a special guest, Sensei Liam Murray. Sensei was, I guess, one of my karate instructors, 3rd degree black belt, and and sort of more involved in the fitness world and the gymnastics world now, but also doing a lot of tricking and things like that as well.
Yeah.
Yes and no?
Kind of like I'm doing gymnastics and parkour mainly. Like,
yeah,
that's
cool.
My bread and butter.
Yeah.
But yeah, just left martial arts about 2 years ago, doing other things, I guess.
Yeah.
But haven't really trained in a few years now. So
Yeah.
Just,
I just wanted
go.
I can tell. I just wanted to bring your attention to my book. Just hit me up, direct message me, I'll swing you a copy. But I'd like to thank Liam for helping me out with this. There's lots of pictures of him in here getting look at that, getting destroyed. Yeah,
Sums up my life.
yeah. There's Liam right there in some sort of submission. But I just wanted to give you this, man. Thank you for helping me out with creating that book.
Yeah, no, appreciate it.
All good. Yeah. So, let's start with, when did you start karate?
Officially 2009.
Yep.
Unofficially martial arts in general, like just mucking around with dad at home because he did other styles of martial arts. And then I was obsessed with becoming a ninja.
Of course.
Like every kid. And yeah, just one day we were driving, I think I managed to get a day off school or something, and driving down the Central Coast Highway now, but it's the Antris Road back then. But just driving down that main street past Fountain Plaza. Yeah. Where the old studio used to be. Yeah. And Dad's like, oh, look, you're not doing any fitness or anything. Like, if you did a sport, what sport would you do? And I just sat there and I'm like, martial arts. I want to be a ninja. And he's like, no, you can't. Not the style that he was doing at the time. Like, it's just not for kids. Yeah. And I was just like, then I don't want to do anything. And he was like, okay, well, we'll go to this kung fu place. And at the time there was, I think, Dragon Tiger martial arts or something, which was it used to be in West Gosford, and then it moved into Erina, and then it disappeared. But yeah, we're going to go there, and then as we're going down the bend past Gary's place, he's like, oh, what do you think of karate? I'm like, I don't want to do that chop bullshit. And Dad's just like, you're missing the point here, you're missing the point. Just give it a chance. And anyway, long story short, went back on the way back from wherever we're going, dropped in, and saw Gary and was hooked. He goes, halfway through like his spiel, he goes, points to a poster hanging up on the wall. And it was a photo of an XMA photo shoot of Caitlin Deschelle and Taylor Lautner.
Okay, well,
I think it's the one that hangs, if I'm right, hangs just before the bathroom.
Yeah.
The new studio.
Yeah. And
if it's still up there. But and he pointed it and he's like, that'll be you one day. And I was just like hooked from there. I was just like, yeah, that's gonna be me. Yeah. And ended up going into eventually finding tricking. And that's what I love doing, and not great at it. B-twist is like my best trick. But it's fun. It's like meditation, you know. And same with martial arts. It's depending on you. You've got different aspects of if you want to fight, or if you're like me, more into the philosophy of the martial arts, which I sort of, as I was coaching, I think that's something I fell on. Yeah. Was I kind of, things got in the way and I left that, and I think that's where like eventually I just like found where I am now, teaching gymnastics and parkour, and was like, that's close enough to tricking. That's close enough to, you know, me more, but
When you say the philosophy of martial arts, I know that you've always got a book in your bag or something that that you're looking at, you're reading, or you're writing down something.
Yeah.
How would you sum up the philosophy of?
Personally, it's like finding balance between things, and it's not just like you have things like MMA, UFC, and wrestling, competitions, and then you have like the other side of martial arts where it's like you don't tell anyone, you just do it for self-improvement and all that sort of stuff. It's like a combination or a balance between those things. Like there's always going to be those who fight and those who just do it for the fitness sort of things.
Yeah.
And then you just got to make do of like, because it depends on the style you do as well, and what you're brought up in, who your teacher is, and it's a hard explanation. It's like the Tao.
Yeah.
If that's
I know the Tao Te Ching. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the way without way.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
So it's always in balance, out of balance, and you're gonna have good days, bad days. But as long as you're doing and staying true to yourself, I think that's like the biggest part of the philosophy of martial arts. Is just it's because it's a solo sport.
It is.
Yeah. I've played team sports when I was little. Didn't really like them. But at the same time, like, they serve purpose. Like, obviously, they build teamwork. Yeah. But at the same time, nothing can refine you more than doing something that's not the everyday norm. In a sense, like, not everyone's going to do karate. Not everyone's going to do martial arts. We're all got our own part. But it's like the concept behind things like kung fu. Like, kung fu is not the actual martial art. It's just a way of expressing yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
The actual martial art is things like wushu, Wing Chun, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the same in Japanese martial arts is Bushido is not the actual martial art, it's the way of the warrior.
The warrior, that's right.
And so is Kung Fu in a sense. So it's self-mastery, I think, is the best.
100% self-mastery.
Explanation.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that is in a nutshell a really good sort of essence of what martial arts is on a philosophical level. It is self-mastery. And when you're sort of, it's very different to anything else, I find, because you can express yourself truly through your tools. And it's like, I keep thinking about like a painter learns to use a paintbrush, and then another painter uses a pencil, and another painter uses this, and it's like through the different martial arts. One painter uses karate, another uses MMA, another uses BJJ, another uses system or whatever it is, and having that expression of self is really important. Not only, I guess, for self-defense or fighting or whatever it is, but for yourself on a real deep level. So yeah, I had a question, because one thing that drew me to karate, because I was doing MMA and Muay Thai, I think, before I started karate. Yeah. And one thing that drew me, I come along and I did a lesson with you, just a random lesson, and you were teaching that day, and you broke down how to do a roundhouse kick, step by step by step, every intricate detail. That was the clincher for me. I've told you this before, but that was the clincher for me to want to learn karate. Was I feel like in every other sort of class, it was just like kick the bag, turn your hip over and kick the bag, but this was a system that had been refined and refined and refined and refined. Now this could be from your teaching, or this could be from like people teaching you, or this could be something that you've developed yourself. The difficulty with because now I'm coaching mixed martial arts, you really have to learn how to do everything all over again to be able to teach it, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like for you, having to go from like a student to a teacher, and then was there like a process you stuck with, or like what's the, you know what I mean?
I think at the beginning there was like a great mentor is obviously Gary and Leanne.
Yeah, of course.
But other black belts in that style, like we had Sensei Rob, Doc, Dean. I never remember him, but he was actually the one that taught me the roundhouse and how to get more power out of your kick. And it was like, rather than just hitting the bag, you know, cutting through the bag.
Yeah.
And obviously, I then was like adding my own style behind, like more towards the extreme side of martial arts. In like what is it? XMA. It used to be XMA before it was like hyper and tricking and all that sort of stuff. So like that was at the studio, because I always wanted to be on the competition team. I saw people like Mikey and all that sort of stuff, and just sort of you know, the cool guy with the bows and doing all the flips and the twists and shit. And I saw that, and that cemented it in for me. It's like, I want to do that. But then at the same time, I just fell into coaching. Like, it wasn't something I ever actually pursued. It was just, you know, one day I took a stretch of the warm-up. Next day, you know, a few months or years later, I was taking half the class, and then obviously I was trained up for it. And and I think towards the end though, a lot of my coaching was on burnout. Because like, I can remember when I ended up getting this other coaching gig where I am now. It's just like, my first 2 weeks, everyone was like, I had other old black belts and stuff coming up to me going, you actually look happy. For once, like, you're not, you know, you're coming into the studio smiling rather than being in there on the mats. Because I was there 7 days a week.
I know.
You know? And that wasn't a bad thing, and I don't think that was the cause of my burnout. It was just, I'd seen so much come and go. And a lot of what I grew up training under, like that sense of, the real sense of community had, in a sense, gone. Like, it just, one day it upped and left, and then it took a while to build that community back up. And even with it built up, it was just like, by the end of it, it's still, everyone comes and goes.
The soul wasn't there.
And I'm that sort of person who's like, it's not that I don't like change. I like change, but I also like people to grow with me. If that makes sense. And if I'm not growing, or if someone around me is not growing, and you're trying to work on, you know, investing in your time into them, and like, it just becomes, it drains you. If that makes sense. But I hope that answers your question.
No, it does, and it raises many more. 100%. Like that, like, as much as martial arts is a individual solo thing, we have a community around us that sharpen our tools. You know, and help us grow and grow with us. But I guess that's why you walk into any martial arts school with a belt system, for argument's sake. You know, there's quite a lot of white belts. As a say jiu-jitsu, there's quite a lot of white belts. There's a few blue belts. There's a couple of purple belts. There's 1 or 2 brown belts, and there's like 1 or 2 black belts. You know, and I think that that sort of encompasses like what we all sort of experience when we're in it for a long time, is we see so many people come and go, and you know, what's that thing? It's like martial arts is for everyone for the first 6 months. You know, and I don't know. Like, for me, that was a hard pill to swallow. especially with my training, because you just get into a sort of, you'd get a good training partner and you're going hard, you're doing this, you're doing that, and then all of a sudden, you know, they get a girlfriend and they're gone. You know, and then you got to sort of train someone else up when they come in, you know, and then you, I guess you automatically fall into that coaching role because you want people to be able to train at your level.
Yeah.
But not everyone has your goal in mind, you know, not everyone has your commitment, and then that's why there's only that certain few that will 3rd degree black belt, you know.
Yeah.
Like I made it to black belt. Well, I'm still training, but like not in karate anymore, obviously. But yeah, and then like the whole burnout thing is so real, and then I think if you don't have that appreciation from your peers and your superiors, that appreciation and that support, it makes it even harder. You know, like I was watching something, maybe a talk, and they were saying every 4 years, if you don't go up in say like a hierarchy of like a business world, right? If you don't get promoted, or you do some sort of lateral movement where you do something completely different, something novel, basically you become stagnant, and the only thing for you to do is to leave.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to go back down, you know? You're not going to go, oh, I'm just going to go back to being a student, you know?
Yeah.
So if there's nothing to reach for, there's nothing to reach for and actually attain, you just sort of...
Yeah, and you get into like, I don't know, from my personal experience, I probably burnt out 6-7 years in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't purely from like I didn't have passion for it anymore. It was just I didn't have the people around me that made it special in a sense. Like, you know, there was a time where you trained hard, and there was in a sense it was very Bushido like.
Yeah.
Like, you know, how do you describe it? I remember actually my black belt grading, and everyone says this about their black belt grading being like the hardest black belt grading ever, because you just get destroyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, my original
black 3rd degree black belt over here. Ow.
Putting himself in locks. But yeah, no, like I can just remember the 4 of us, because I graded with Darren.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah. Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, that's going back years.
Yeah.
I think 2012 or something.
I saw him the other day.
Yeah, long time. But we had Rob grading for his 3rd degree at the time.
Yeah.
And then it was just, bro, I remember we were doing halfway through the grading or something when you do the, I don't know if they still do it, but you go into the Kibadach and you've got the bag. Yeah, I used to do this to you guys all the time.
Yeah, I know.
I just remember a couple of like my other coaches, Josh and Kim and all those guys. You know, they'd make us, if our stances weren't perfect. Yeah. You know, you held that stance for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they'd come over and, you know, sweep your foot out, and you'd go, oh yeah, okay, gotta go deeper. So that's where like I developed really deep stance. Yeah. I have long legs.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, I'm looking at your forms and your movement, and you do. You do. Deep. Yeah.
But no, it's very Shotokan. Shotokan's long stances.
Yeah.
And but which is ironic because anyway. Yeah. But I can just remember Rob and coming around, and it was me, Yolanda, and Blake, and Darren, and we were all grading, and like it felt like it was 8 minutes. It was probably like 1:30, and you're there, and like by this time you've done what, 2 hours of basics, 2 hours of bag work. Yeah. you've done your katas, your forms, and it's getting to like the final 3 hours of fitness and sparring.
Yeah.
And we were just there going, and you're cramped up, like you're there, and Rob's going, hands up, like
lift him up.
Hands up. I'm like, and then I think it must have been Suke or someone came over and was like, okay, you can put it down. And then Rob's come over a minute and a half later going, you were told to put the bag down, like you've just lost your black, you know, you're not grading.
Yeah.
You can't put the bag down. I'm like, I can't move my arms. And then Rob just goes, boom, and the bag drops. And then you're just like, and then everything just comes back in and pins and needles.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you'd never get it, you know.
Yeah.
You'd never be able to do that now. You'd get
Well, funny thing is, in my kids' boxing class, it's what we call Coach Eli's discipline. So we go into Kibberdarch, hold 1 kilo weights, and so if kids muck up in my class, I put them in the corner and make them do that.
Yeah.
And then I just forget about them and go back to teaching. I had one of the kids goes, his mum comes and picks him up and goes, Mum, I don't know why you pay these people. They nearly broke me arms. His mum loved it. His mum's like, yes.
Yeah.
But, oh gosh.
It's like watching, because I coach gymnastics now, it's like watching the elite girls train.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they're doing 3-4 hours of training, and I'm like, that's what I used to do. And I'm like, I turn 27 tomorrow.
You
I'm too old for this shit. I can't keep up. And they'll whinge about, you know, strength and conditioning, and it's like, you girls are throwing yourselves on bars, and even the guys, like, you know, they're doing full kip-ups to bars, muscle-ups, and then, you know, if they're high enough level, they're going over the bar, and you're just like, that's not physically possible.
Yeah.
But it's like, just the condition. It's just conditioning.
Yeah,
really.
100%.
I think that's what, towards the end, like, it sort of came back towards the end of when I was there, but it just, I don't know, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of era left. It's like, eras come and go.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be great times, and it's all relative to you.
Yeah.
So if you don't find, like, if you're struggling to find that passion and that drive, or the drive to continue your passion, you end up burnt out like I did.
100%.
But you also, I think the biggest thing in coaching is you need people to also, like, either provide competition in a friendly manner. Like, I know for me, I always looked like I had Connor, I had Nick, I had Lani, Canella, I'm just naming people here.
Yeah.
But they, towards, like, when we're competing in Nats, I had yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I ended up having that drive again. And then I started getting injured.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I think it would have been everyone's second NAS tournament, mine and Nick's third.
Yeah.
And, because me and Nick went down for the first one for the year.
Yeah.
And then, with the faucets, and then we come back and loved it and enjoyed it. It was good down there. Yeah. So then, like, after bringing teams and stuff, and so we had a great little team that would come down, and halfway through one of my katas, I think it was Conker Show, did the jump, came down, and as I've landed, my knee went one way, went back the other way, and locked in. Yep. And I was just like, I fucked my knee. Yeah. Finished the kata, was not happy, and then spent about, I hate rehab. I'm gonna say that out. Like, I just hate things taking time to heal. Yeah. And I just obviously never recovered. I think more psychologically from the injury. Like,
that's a huge part of it.
Because I was wearing, you know, the next couple of tournaments, I was just like, I need a brace to just not be in pain. Yeah. You know, to just help my legs. So, you know, I even remember couple of years after, I was wearing, to walk upstairs, I had a brace on.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just purely because I get it every now and then, but it's just because my body's so destroyed.
Well, that's it, hey. Like, when you say, I'm getting old, getting too old for this shit, you know, like, it's funny because, like, you're only 27, but I have a 17-year-old, and it comes to my classes and stuff. He's like, I'm getting too old for this. And I laugh at him because he's only just started. But like, for you, I understand, because like the amount of injuries like you've incurred over the years, and myself included, but like, I understand, like, you come into training, you'll be strapped up from head to toe, and you're like, I'm all right.
that was the mentality, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And kids, listen, recovery is very important.
Recovery is so important.
Adults, recovery is important.
Yeah.
Rehab,
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I think, what was my worst injury ever? I did my ligament that goes across your ankle to the top of your bone, like the top of your foot.
Yeah.
I tore that out, tricking, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And mustn't have been like a full recovery, because I was still feeling it 5 years later.
Yeah, probably not a full recovery then.
And not the best thing.
Yeah.
And then, was doing another crazy thing and literally just stepped off a vault. Yeah. And my ankle went one way, went the other way. Yep. And one of the guys I was with goes, because I was sort of training, sort of just mucking around. Can we swear?
Yeah.
I was fucking around basically.
Yeah.
And stepped off this vault this trampoline, and my ankle went one way, went the other way, and I was just like in a shitload of pain.
Yeah.
I was just like, I had tears in my eyes, and I can just remember a couple of people going, "You all right, coach?" And just going, no, like, I'm in a lot of pain. Yeah, I should be right. Yeah. Looking at my foot, mind you, and one of the guys comes over and goes, "Go get an ice pack. You want to actually stay there? I'll go get the ice pack." Yeah. And ended up getting an ultrasound on it, and I tore out my ATFL and shredded. The doctor was more, they're like, it's gone, the bottom of your foot, like the tendons and ligaments and that, and like, you've definitely torn your thing. Because they were asking, like, do you even know what a ligament tear or a tendon tear is? Yeah. I was like, yeah, I do martial arts. I've basically torn every muscle in my body, and minor tears and all that sort of stuff. But I know what a severe tear feels like. Yeah. And because I've like overstretched patella tendons and stuff. And I was just like, it's not right. Yeah. And it was like, my ankle just instantly went blue. Yeah. You know, when I first did it, when I rolled it, I was just like, it's. And I heard pop, 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 pop. And it was just like,
I could feel it.
As soon as you do it, you're just like,
you're just like, well.
Pain's not a thing. You're not going to cry. You're not going to whinge. Yeah. And I just did that, and I was like, it was a moment of devastation. I was just like, fuck, I fucked up big. Yeah. Like, being on that table, in the doctor's room with the ultrasound, spending 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this isn't a normal ultrasound. Yeah. There's something wrong. Something's wrong, yeah. And I'm just laying back, and she's like, I'm just gonna go get the doctor. And I was just like, fuck. As soon as she left, I'm like, it's definitely a tear. It's definitely a tear. Doctor comes back in after felt like an hour. It was like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. And comes back in and looks at the ultrasound, and it's like, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, I can't see anything. And I'm just like, is that good or bad? And he's talking to a clinician, and I'm there going, hey, doc, and he's like, okay, let me sum it up for you. This is your ankle. And he's like, the bottom half I can fix with surgery. Yeah. I know I can fix it. The top half, we can play around with it.
I can poke it with a stick.
But I need you to go get an MRI. Yeah. Do you think I went and got the MRI? No. Kids, if you're told to get an MRI,
go and get an MRI.
Yeah, I basically didn't have an ATFL ligament, and then top or bottom, so you have like I think it's talofibular ligament on the bottom.
Yeah.
And you have another ATFL ligament, which isn't the actual ATFL. But
Yeah.
if you tear, because I Dr. Googled it.
Of course.
And I was like, this is what I heard. So I just,
Yeah,
typed in what I heard and came up, and it's like, oh yeah, this tendon here, normally ATFL ligament.
Yeah.
So I went into the ultrasound going, I've torn my ATFL.
Yeah.
From what I looked up. I Dr. Googled. And the nurse is like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. You don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, ended up, she's like, yeah, you fucked up bad.
Yeah.
My doctor's just like, get an MRI, please.
Yeah.
And like, he even did it in his report. So I think I tore, because I was like, I've torn here before, I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you're lucky, it's stretched. Like, you've definitely got scar tissue there. Well, they can't really tell, but they're just like, yeah, you've definitely done something before to it.
Yeah.
And you've recovered, but it's not great. And then they just kept listing off things, and they're just like, you've got partial tear here, partial tear on your ATF.
We just like my emotions.
Grade 3 on her, I was just like, I was an idiot. I'm not gonna start crying. I'm just gonna suck it up.
Yeah. Were you back at training like after this pretty quickly, or were you?
Bro, I was coaching on it. This was 2 weeks into me getting, 2 weeks to me starting a new thing, and I was doing something stupid outside of that.
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, I can't take time off.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my job. It's too good.
100%, man.
But I think that change over time was one of the darkest period. It was the happiest periods I was ever in my life, and just one of the darkest things.
Yeah, well, just like that, hey.
Yeah.
Just in a blink of an eye, it's all gone.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily the injury. It was obviously other things at the time, but just like leaving something you've done for a very long time and trying to, go, hey, I really want to do this.
Yeah.
What other ways can I do it? Because obviously I've got work and commitments, and I kept accepting hours where I was working. I was just like, I want to do stuff during the day. No.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I think that's what drove me away.
Yeah.
But
injuries are such a huge part of training, though. And you're right, absolutely right. Kids, if you got to go to the doctor for starters, and then whatever the doctor says, do. Like, I remember maybe like I was about a year or two into training over at Unimuso.
Yeah.
And my abductor, I think is this one. I messed it up real bad, and the doctor said, you will never train again. And I was like, oh, fantastic. Great. I've just, threw my whole self into this thing, and then it's just been taken away. And I was so upset. And anyway, got another doctor's opinion. Yep, you're fucked. You can't train anymore. Can you coach? I was like, no, I've only been doing it for like 2 years. Anyway, I was so angry, so disappointed, so upset. And then I decided to just train through it. And funny thing is, I went to the doctors a little while after that, and they did a scan, ultrasound and stuff. I said, no, you're fine. I'm like, sweet. But in saying that, today I do still have like a bit of pain there sometimes, and it gets sort of re-injured and stuff. Yeah. But what I found is doing the right exercises and resting when it is sore, it really helps. So
lots of because I'm doing my fitness. What's it taking me now? I'm on to my 3rd year doing my Cert 3.
Nice.
I can't get my shit together.
Yeah.
But and then I'm doing other courses and all that sort of stuff. So I haven't actually finished anything.
I'm not saying I'm a doctor, but I'm a doctor. I went on to Google this one time. I'm a doctor. Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. It's just like, I completely forgot where I was going with this.
Something about injuries and
training. So my biggest thing, obviously, in fitness, because I want to do it for the rest of it. I want to do tricking in my 90s.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm 150
I'd love to see that.
and immortal.
Yeah, of course, because that's what happens when you train martial arts.
Yeah.
You become immortal. Except when you injure yourself in training.
Yeah. When you get to that coach level, you're just instant immortality.
Yeah, immortality. Yeah.
Oh, what they don't teach you.
Yeah, the secret black belt techniques.
But yeah, like my biggest thing, because yeah, I want to get into exercise science, exercise and sports science, and physio.
Yeah, yeah.
Purely because
Free
I want
physio.
to heal myself. I know, just putting that out there. But
Yeah.
no, like coming from the gymnastics background now.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it was also part of my original philosophy of martial arts was you learnt both the martial art and how to heal. It's like with
Yeah.
when we did Kusho,
Yeah.
the pressure point thing,
Yeah.
which is like nerve fighting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of bullshit about it on YouTube that makes it look bad.
Yeah.
But there are, you know, there obviously
There is some credit.
acupressure points on
Yeah.
your body and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. And you squeeze it, you feel good. You
Yeah.
squeeze it, you feel bad. You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
hit it, it's going to hurt a hell of a lot more than it's...
Yeah, one of my favorite ones when I talk about this is just that one there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, no, I get it.
Like, take 2 swings at me.
Yeah.
One on that side, one on that side, and they're just like going, I can't use my arm.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's just like,
Yeah.
you get, the most you get is like pins and needles, but it's just like, why would you fuck with a person after that? Just, what have you done?
Yeah.
But it's like, I remember that, and I always grew up learning, if you're learning how to destroy, you've got to learn how to create and build.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And if you don't, it's like you're just, again, relating it back to like Tao, Bushido, all that sort of stuff, yin yang, you've got to have balance. And it comes, it's personal too. Like if you can build yourself up to be the best fighter, the best ass kicker in the world, if you want to put it that way. Whether you're street fighting, UFC, karate sport fighting, you can be the best karate point fighter.
Yeah.
You could still fuck yourself up and that's your career ended.
Yep.
You know, like, but if you learn recovery and stuff, and that's what I learned in competitions, it was just like towards the end, I gave up. I was just like, fuck, I keep getting injured.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was just like, okay, doing my rehab and stuff for it. Like Dad would give me some rehab stuff. And so would Mum, obviously, that like them being doctors and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, just the big thing, because that's like the path that my dad took was rehab, and he fell off a cliff fighting a fire.
Yeah.
And one day, because he was in the fires or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, it fell off, and because I remember like being in primary school and my dad having a walking stick, and it was just like, oh, my dad's old.
Yeah.
And he was like in his 40s at most.
Yeah. Well, he's very old.
And it was just like, you know, it was just like, oh, and then all of a sudden, 3-4 years later, he's running around with me and my sister like he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And it was just purely because he, you know, and I think because he left martial arts as well. And he just got tired and broken down, and
Yeah.
you know, because obviously Bushinkan's a very physical martial art, training on wooden floors or matting now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, you're training in a school hall, not like the nice you know, gyms like here in Monamoose where you've got really good padding and all that sort of stuff.
Getting thrown on the wooden floors,
you know,
and stuff.
And like you'd go to Taikais, which are big seminars and all that sort of stuff, and where all the schools come together, and you're getting beaten up and thrown on wooden floors and put in locks, and it's a very physical style. But yeah, and then all these other injuries that he had and stuff from firefighting and you know, doing other shit. flying helicopters and planes, whatever he did back then.
Yeah.
You know, he was broken, but he made that effort to really delve into his self-recovery and all that sort of stuff. And it was like, yeah, it's just the last, bro, he's fitter than I will ever be in my life. He's done his Cert 3, I'm still doing my Cert 3. He started after.
Yeah, oh wow, okay, yeah, fair enough.
He's just like, he is a freak when it comes to anything like calisthenics.
Yeah,
He surfs 4 hours a day, you know, like.
Just living the good life.
Yeah. But like, he wouldn't be able to do that if he didn't do the rehab and recovery that he did. And, you know, it's like, you can do self-massage, you can do, and there's lots of shit out there on YouTube and stuff, but you can go get a massage, you can go see a physio, you can go see a physio. You know, you can talk to people and, you know, just look after your body, kids. And adults, really look after your body. You know, because age isn't a definition. It's just like, you can let age define you, or you can let age be a part of you and you just be a kid all the time, which is how I feel mentally with work. Like, I'm paid to be a kid, basically, jump around on stuff.
I get paid to punch people. That's great.
But at the same time, it's like, sometimes you do feel your age, but other times it can only be if you're not taking the effort to really take care of yourself. Which I think is where I fell off the path a couple of times, training with like Connor and a few others at the studio, and like, it was fun.
Oh yeah, 100% it's fun.
You know, after a while, because I was always the dummy, and it was purely by choice. Because I learnt by having, if someone did a throw on me, I learnt the throw not by doing it in practice, but by getting thrown. And so like, when we're doing the stunt stuff, out at Benders, we were like, I know you and me couldn't pick it up as fast as
I know,
mate,
doing stunt work is like,
and it's just like, you don't hit the person. Me and Connor were doing stunts for Instagram. And most of those pulls that you see in the fight scenes on his Instagram account, or I think some of them are still on mine, where I'm getting like, they're proper fucking punches. And I am, like, the little sound effects
your stunts and on your page. And the ones
I
was going to say, because the ones that we're doing in there, I was like, I had to learn how not to fight to do that, to do that stunt work. But,
so did I.
But that was really hard. Really hard.
It's a different mentality too, because you're throwing a punch here, but on camera it looks like you just clocked the guy, and I'm like, no, hit me. And
you're like, just hit me.
Can't. And then it's like filming, I'm like, and being told to be more aggressive, and I'm like, but if I'm more aggressive, I'm going to hit it. And then they're just like, oh fuck it, just rough me up. And I'm like, okay, you are. Still wasn't aggressive enough.
That was a fun experience. I'd never done stunt work on camera before. Look, I'd do it again. But with different expectations. For sure. Like I would much rather just go in it and just do the techniques and obviously look after my partner and stuff. Like, we'll do the same thing in the gym here, right? When you look after your partner and you're doing sort of drills or whatever and takedowns and that. But I don't know, it's very different when they say, here, now I want you to flip over that way and just do like a front flip. It's like, I'll have to physically do a front flip while he does that.
Because it's like some of the guys were, you know, like yourself in their 30s and 40s and stuff, and they're going, fuck, if they can, you know, and like professional stuntmen and stuff. And I'm there going, I've never done stunts in my life. I've tried to do stunts with Connor and a couple of others. And if you look at it, it's very B grade, but it's like full contact.
right?
You know,
Like
that's how I thought they did it.
That was like the John Wick thing, right?
Yeah, you've got to do.
Yeah.
I think there's a fight scene on Connor's Instagram, if it's still on there, where it's like there's a table and we're in the old studio and doing like this sort of fighting stuff and set up a table and properly, you know, we're ankle tapping and the table and shit was going everywhere. And it's just a lot of that. Like we even did stuff when Tank used to train there, big Jace.
Oh yep.
And it was just like we did a whole self-defense reel with Nick.
Yeah.
And Tank and I think it was Connor and myself. And we were doing like baseballs. I think that was the one where or maybe it was a couple of days after we were practicing for another one.
Yeah.
I had a baseball bat. I'm doing the bat defense.
Yeah, okay, yep.
I accidentally hit Connor in the head and lost him. And it was purely an accident, but it was me jumping. I look back at the video now.
Yeah.
I have to find it and send it to you. But
for sure.
Look back at the video now, and it's just me flying in the air with this breakable wooden bat.
Yeah.
They're not so breakable.
No.
Or Connor's head's just, brute force, and it's just me coming out, and he sat up, and the bat's like just nicked it. Yeah. And he's like, oh fuck.
But he deserves it though.
he was properly concussed, man. We did concussion tests after, and that's the other thing too. Like he's very strong-willed and he's a tough guy.
He is. He is
soft at heart, but very
like when you were going for your third degree and we had to show up early because you had to do all your self-defenses and stuff. So that was a 13-hour grading, wasn't it?
Something like
12,
13.
Yeah, and I had his big axe, the cold steel axe, and he had to defend me coming up with an up strike like this, and I just fucking went bang into his leg, and he's like, no facial expression whatsoever.
The guy feels no pain.
And then he's like, do it again.
That's literally it. Like, I can remember even he's an amazing guy, and he's a friend. You know, he's gonna be a friend forever, sort of thing. Yeah. But like, I can just remember training with him and even coaching with him. And there was a time where one of the kids on the mats gave me lip, and there was I'm not going to name names, but there was a group of us coaching at the time. So like I obviously had Connor, and I was being assisted by a couple of other black belts and stuff. Yeah. And I was on the floor, and it was a beginning warrior class on a Friday night. And I'm standing there, and I was talking about the class, and this guy's giving me lip, and I stood there shocked. I was just like, and Connor just instantly goes, "That's not how you speak." Just shut without raising his voice to like being an asshole sort of thing. But he just, you don't do that. You respect. And for me, that brought back, I think that's what reignited Bushido in me after so long of like not just not giving a fuck. But it was just like coming back to that point of like, holy shit. Like even I stopped. I was like,
you're like, yes,
and he's like,
yes, sir.
You need to learn respect, and you know that's disrespectful, and basically long story short, he put this kid in his place. Not physically, not aggressively. He just went boom, and a couple of other coaches were literally going to go, "You don't say that," to this guy, and Connor just at the same time just out of the blue, because he's a quiet one. Like he was like me. I was loud in the sense that I was coaching. I always was up the front coaching. But at the same time, like I was a very quiet kid. I wouldn't talk to anyone until I started coaching. Did not say a word.
You're still very quiet. Like today is probably the loudest I've actually ever heard you. We've ever had a conversation. Normally your voice is like down here.
Yeah, I get that at work.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Speak up.
The boss will be behind the counter at work and reception in the admin thing at Gem, and they would just be sitting there and going, and I'll walk in and Millie will say hi and okay, hi, and I'll like come back 5 minutes later, or I'll like start my shift and come over. I've run out of things to do, and I go to the other boss. I go like, "Is there anything to?" And I'll be standing there for 5 minutes, and she's like, "Oh," and then she's like, "You need to speak up." Just like, yes. I'm working on that microphone. I like,
yeah.
And even my kid, like,
there's an app for that. Just hold your phone, just talk on your phone, and just like projects it. Yeah.
Even like there's kids that are coached and they're just like look into space, and I'm just like, can you? Let me say that again.
Yeah. We better wrap this up because I've got a class coming up soon.
Yeah. No.
But where can we find you? Like because you're coaching at a gymnastics now, where's that at?
If anyone knows where Baritz used to be or what the football grounds is.
In Arena?
Yeah, opposite the Adventure School. So I'm working at Gem. Martial arts wise, opposite Tiago.
Yep.
If that's generally what people know. Or the Team Fox were in that complex.
Yeah.
And it's, when I first started there, it was a tiny studio in Barralong Road. And I was like, what the fuck have I got myself into? And then now it's a great place. You know, train, and it's more about the gymnasts and the athletes than the actual, competitive gym. We have competitive girls and stuff and competitive guys, or not so much guys. But I'm more doing parkour. Like I teach parkour there, and it's fun.
Nice. So. And what's your Instagram and social media handles?
Instagram, when I use it, is at Liam Murray _tricking. I haven't posted on it for a while.
I'll put that on the screen somewhere.
That's about it for social media.
Yeah, cool. And then we can see those videos where you're doing the self-defense stuff with the stunt work?
Yeah, you should be able to. I think it depends if it's still on Connor's page as well.
Yeah, but, cool.
It'll be, you go to the tag section, or you can find a whole range of shit there.
Yeah, nice.
But that's it.
Yeah. And that's Sensei Liam Murray. Thank you very much, my man.
Thank you
for coming on. And thanks for.
Don't forget his book.
Don't forget my book. Message me and I'll hook you up. Also, we'll have in August a special guest. More on that later. And we're here at Self-Made Fitness down in Woy Woy. Come check us out, and I'll see you guys next time.
Yo, shout out to the Prophet. Yo, we're going transatlantic on this one. Mate, I had to go on holiday just to write this verse. It's so stressful, man. But let's go. When I wake up, it's the peace I'm chasing. Relief from the games that deplete my patience. Soon they consume me, my fuel on empty. Give this new day the boot like the Uso set me down. Didn't know when I signed the check to go in beast mode came with these side effects. Cause the culture says grind, the vultures come find you. It's hard to make time just to find the rest. But I've been promised peace beyond understanding. Beyond all the nonsense demanding my time and my headspace. Taking all my precious commodities to leave me with havoc like a rest in peace topology. Actually need the be 6 feet deep to feel peace or rest. Or be free from stress. So I follow guidance for weary and heavy laden. Lay them burdens down and exhale like You gotta wake up, you gotta wake up. Stress free, baby, stress free.